What's going on, guys? Steeler here, back again with yet another video. And you know what? As an Xbox executive, people like Mike Ybarra take fire from all sides of the war, from all kinds of fanboys, from all kinds of backgrounds. A lot of frauds throwing shade their way, and I thought this is absolutely hilarious because Mike Ybarra could not resist the urge to retweet this particular quote here, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So before I get into that, guys, I want to let you guys know I did cover the very first Xbox One X enhancement coming this month, yes, October 2017, in my last video. So if you want to know what game that is and what you'll get from that, click on that link down below in the description to check that out. Patrons, those awesome enough to support the channel on Patreon, I've got a massive announcement at the end of this video for those coming on to RDX Podcast, those winning free AAA game giveaways, and more. Stay tuned to the end of the video for that. And of course, back to the subject, the ridiculousness at hand. Now, of course, Mike Ybarra very active on Twitter to both fans and critics alike, but of course, he couldn't hold his tongue when being asked the silliest thing, when being told the silliest thing I'm sure he's heard on Twitter all month. Somebody says, wow, if I buy the game now, I have to buy it again to get the Xbox One X version? Way to rip us off. Now, of course, no offense to the person that said this, but you've got to be either a liar, a troll, or just completely out of the loop. And if you're this far out of the loop when it comes to gaming, you might as well not even be on Twitter in general, because this is absolutely ridiculous. I was one of those guys at E3 wondering why they were stating the fact that the patches were free on the E3 press conference stage, because it was common sense. Of course they're free, right? But I stand corrected. Apparently people don't know the most basic of basic things, and it's kind of ridiculous. So Mike Ybarra, of course, unable to hold his tongue, says, what? No, free updates, take a deep breath, and smile. I thought this was absolutely hilarious. I love it when these executives actually stand up for themselves and the company they represent, because this kind of misinformation is actually dangerous. Why is it dangerous? Well, look at what happened to Forza Motorsport 7. People to this day think there are microtransactions in the game, when in fact, there are zero, Z-E-R-O, microtransactions in the entire game. You cannot buy anything in that game with real cash. Now, does that mean you'll never be able to buy things with real money in Forza Motorsport 7? Of course not. I'm sure there will be microtransactions one day, but as of right now, there are zero. Now, you can use in-game currency to buy the loot boxes, but of course you don't have to, and they are not required. They don't even incentivize you to do so in the career mode. And the only things you can buy in that game are driver outfits, cosmetic, mods can only be used in single player, and of course you can get lucky and win a car or two here or there. So take all of what I just said and replace it with the game has microtransactions. The loot boxes are absolutely ridiculous. They ruin the game, and it's pretty much a free-to-play game you pay $60 for. All things I've heard from morons on YouTube. So, once again, any negativity unchecked by these executives or anybody here on YouTube really gets spread like wildfire, and I'm glad Mike Ybarra said something about it. It needed to be said, and of course, I just like seeing this kind of stuff. So, this is the part of the video I talk to the patrons. If you're not interested, please leave a like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Thanks for the support you do offer, but of course, those that have stepped up on Patreon, this is a good month. I'm giving out tiers for everybody who's been a patron for at least a month. As it says in the tier descriptions, you must be a patron for at least a month. So if you want to get in on some of these tiers, definitely become a patron today. That way you're in on it sooner. And of course, that goes for all tiers. So those that are in the games giveaway tiers, I'm giving away the games here in the next week on Patreon. Definitely be paying attention to Patreon and my social media for that information. Of course, those that have been awesome enough to support the channel, even more so, get to actually come on to RDX Podcast. And of course, as it says in the Patreon tier, as my post on Patreon says, we're having one of those guests every month. So there is a line. Just know that. I want there to be complete transparency here. We'll be having the first of those guests on this month. And those that have subscribed to the top tier, the personal channel spotlight tier, of course, I am going to be displaying your channel, getting you guys some exposure. I'd love to do that. I feel like that's something I can offer, and I feel like I'm going to benefit a lot of you while doing so. So be paying attention to your social media as well. And actually, I'd ask you guys to message me on Twitter at @dealer_gaming or Patreon and so we can start getting this ready to go, because I want to get some ideas from you and all that good stuff, so I could send some people your way and get you going. So once again, guys, all this stuff rolling out beginning this month. If you're not a patron, become a patron soon so you can get on it next month. And of course, I do appreciate the support, guys. Once again, we'll have our first RDX podcast patron on this month, and of course, those channel spotlights I'll begin doing here in the next week or two probably as well. So good stuff coming. Any questions whatsoever? I want zero confusion among the patrons. Please message me on Twitter at dealer_gaming and the patron website. You guys, you know, like I said, I am just an open, transparent person, and I want zero confusion. Any questions, feel free to reach out. And of course, any feedback on the patron site, please reach out there as well. So once again, guys, I do appreciate the support. I plan on giving back as much as I can because you guys have stepped up to the plate like you have. So once again, guys, thanks. If you want to become a patron, that link is in the description down below. And of course, you can feel free to upgrade, downgrade your tier, or cancel it altogether if you decide that you do not want to be a patron anymore. Just full transparency there. So I'm Dealer. Let me know what you guys think down below. Hit that like button if you would, and I'm out.